everyone's tired. They've been walking in the rain. We really appreciate it. I'm here actually to shed some light on some of the personal things that we saw that happened in Rabaa. When I was asked to speak, I turned to my husband. I said, like, what do you say, right? I mean, we went to Egypt. A lot of people told us, don't go. We were planning a family vacation. And when the January 25th revolution happened, my husband left Canada and he went for the revolution, and I was so jealous that I wasn't able to be a part of it. And so I said, no, I'm going to go this time. And the minute I landed on Egyptian soil, I went to Rabaa Square. And I have to tell you, I met some of the best people I've ever met in my whole entire life. And when I was there, I felt like I was comfortable to be Muslim. I was comfortable to be who I am. And I felt proud to be a Muslim, and I felt proud to be Egyptian. And when I stepped out of the hudud of Rabaa Square, it was very different. Because what people don't understand, if you haven't been in Egypt, and I didn't really believe it until I got there, Islam is under attack there. If you see my fingers, they're in casts. They're in casts because some of the baltageya, we say in Arabic, or in English, thugs, decided that because my husband had a beard, that he should stop us, that they should stop us. They put a knife to my husband's throat, and they broke my fingers only because of that, because I'm wearing a jilbab and he has a beard, and they said, you're a Khwan and you need to die. We have the freedom to stand here and protest, and there they don't. Every day when we went to Rabaa Square, we were waiting to be hit. We knew that the army was going to come in. That square was full of children, full of babies, full of women, young people, old people. You have no idea, and it's not just a square, it's a huge area. And there were tents. People were there for 48 days. It takes a lot to be there for 48 days. People come here, some people are here for an hour and a half and they want to leave, right? We're here, we're going to stay in the hotel. We're not scared that something's going to happen. The police were with us, protecting us. There, what do the police do? They attack you. And when we went that night, we knew that we had heard rumors that the Rabaa would be attacked. And we said, we need to be with our brothers and sisters. And never did we think what was going to happen was going to happen. Because when we say, one of the chants you were saying, they crashed the Rabaa, they didn't crash Rabaa. They massacred. It was a genocide. We saw over 1,000 soldiers with guns attack Rabaa. There was at least 200 tanks, 2 huge bulldozers. I've never seen bulldozers that size in my whole entire life. And they just rammed through the people. They didn't care whether you were a child. They didn't care whether you're a woman. They didn't care. I'm going to give you a few personal stories. I have a friend named Asmat. Asmat's husband was shot that day, and he went to the hospital. There was a hospital, Mustashfa al-Medani, a hospital inside the Rabaa, and she went there to see her wounded husband. As she stood in the hallway of the hospital, she's a pregnant woman, she was shot, dead. Her and obviously her baby passed away. Her husband lived through what happened. The next day, we went to pray janazah on her, and we couldn't do it. And her father stood screaming in the masjid. And we know that we're not supposed to raise our voices in the masjid, but he had a really good reason. The Egyptian government wasn't allowing him to bury his daughter. So not only did she not have the dignity in being alive, but while she was being killed, there was no dignity. And why was she not allowed to be buried? Because they said he had to sign a paper that said she had committed suicide. And all of us know as Muslims that this is unacceptable for a Muslim to commit suicide. So it's ihana for ihana, right? Indignity on top of indignity. We buried 8 brothers in one janazah prayer. Every single one of them had the Quran memorized. Every single one of them. And you know, when I was in Rabaa, right before it was attacked, we saw 2 shabab. My husband and I were together, and we saw 2 shabab, and I hope, inshallah, that the youth of Canada speak in this way. One was about 16 years old, the other one was about 20. And he said, he turns, I think he looked like it was his brother, and he turned to his brother and he said to him, "Tiftikar ana hastashhid an-nahar, do you think I'm going to die today for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala?" And his brother said to him jokingly, "Huwa shahada bitlim." right? So that does the shahada just come to anybody? Meaning that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala picks those individuals. Those individuals in Rabah Square, I have never seen people like them in my life. And people say that they had arms. I went to Rabah Square no less than 30 times. I slept over in the last 10 days of Ramadan. I was always there, even through the night. Never did I ever see a weapon with anybody. And when you went to Rabah Square, they patted you down, they checked your knapsack, they checked your ID to make sure that nobody had that. This was a complete lie. The army threw tear gas on the people, then they put the bulldozers, and then they shot at them. And there were snipers, and all of us have seen those videos. It's not just that. The next day, we went to Masjid al-Iman, and I was helping out in Rabah, and we went to Masjid al-Iman, and one of the sisters who was there called me, and she said, "We need your help." And because I had a media card, I had access inside Masjid al-Iman. And I came out after Salat al-Asr, I personally counted 266 shuhada in that building that weren't able to be buried. This was 24 hours after the Rabah massacre. And their mothers sat beside them. I've never seen something like that in my life, and hopefully none of you will ever see something like that. When we see it on TV, we get upset, we go for coffee. This is the life of every single person there. And you know, they started attacking it around 7 o'clock in the morning. They didn't allow the people to go out silmiyan peacefully until almost 4 o'clock. And those people stayed resilient, and they didn't leave. And there were people even who got out of a Rabah, or were coming in and kept trying to come in, even knowing that people were being shot at. And the day of Ramses, people rose in the streets and they went again. And every single Friday and every single day, the Egyptian people do not stop protesting. And it's important that we don't stop protesting. Because one thing I have to tell you is, each and every one of you is responsible in front of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He will ask you on the day of judgment, what did you do for those people? And not just the people of Egypt, the people of Syria, the people of Libya, the people of Somalia, everywhere. So we as Muslims, we're responsible for all those people. We have to write our MPs as Canadian citizens. We have the right to say our tax dollars will not go to support this regime, that this army coup is not acceptable. We will not allow it. We have to cut ties with the Egyptian government as it is, and we have to say that we will not accept this regime ever. Jazakallah khair.